you're looking at property values for farms, $500, $750 an acre. When the gas industry comes, you got property values well over $10,000 an acre. That's the value of this property. So, and then you have the individuals that have these farms that take and sign the gas lease, and they start receiving the royalty payments, and they sign and get the bonus payments. I think the magic number right now for Susquehanna County is around $2 billion in bonus payments and royalty payments to the people of Susquehanna County that own land. We've got 46,000 people in this county. I mean, $2 billion. I mean, what that did for these farms, it built new barns, bought new tractors, allowed them to expand their herds. It allowed them to grow more crops. It allowed them to take and build new homes, renovate their homes. It was unbelievable the effect it had on the farmers in this area.
You know, it's not, you know, an easy task to be able to take and operate a farm and own it and put at risk your life. And so from that aspect of it, being able to see the industry come in and to be able to see the royalty payments going to these individuals, very hardworking individuals, that, you know, it is true. You know, it is, you know, waking up before dawn and working past dark most days, especially this time of year. The fact of the matter is, you know, they are now able to enjoy a better quality of life. And the thing about it is, they're not taking and going and spending it on places and activities outside of the area. It's being spent here in the community. You know, they're reinvesting in their farms. They're upgrading their technology. They're getting new equipment. You know, that's the exciting thing, is to see that they are not just walking away from the farming way of life. They're able to reinvest in that and actually do it at a profitable manner now.
Many of these farms have been in families for generations. And what the energy industry has allowed them to do is keep those farms in their families, to buy new equipment. And, you know, just the equipment and farm machinery sales and stores that has opened up in Washington County has been phenomenal, because, of course, that's the secondary and even tertiary effect of this industry. So just in that industry alone, agriculture, we've seen a huge impact in terms of people buying new equipment and reinvesting in their farms. And that money, of course, goes to our local banks that reinvested, of course, into new housing stock and things of that nature. So again, that one industry itself, coupled with the natural gas industry, has had a huge economic impact in our county.
I will tell you one thing that I think is missed, that we didn't really touch too much on, is the involvement that you have as an industry on things that aren't directly associated with what you do. You know, the quality of life here in our area, you look at it, we've got the community theater, we've got the community arts center. You know, those are arts related activities. And when you see that the industry sponsoring this event there, this play, this performance, you know, that's something that it doesn't directly benefit you. Let's be honest. You know, it's from the perspective of, we're just a community partner. And as Jeff had mentioned, you know, it is the fact that this industry is partnering for things that don't directly benefit you. It is something that, yes, it does enhance the quality of life. It gives your employees an opportunity to experience something, but 170 seat community theater league is what we've got. That I know I've seen sponsorship from this industry in events in the past when they've been able to operate.
We have a brand new hospital that is probably 6-7 years old in Montrose, because the gas industry helped bring that to our community. We had an old hospital that was falling down. It was past end of life, and thankfully Cabot Oil and Gas stepped up and was very generous and helped to get it kicked off the ground and got that big initial push that we needed to get that brand new hospital going. So again, that's big. You talked about our library. You know, we got a brand new library in Susquehanna County. They were fortunate to get donors to put up close to $5 million to do that. But we don't talk about, we don't say enough how we thank the industry, especially Cabot, for donating a van so they can deliver the books and go from each one of their branches. That's all a big thing.
In addition to that, if you look at it, there is that economic impact. You look at downtown Williamsport, the number of restaurants that we have here have grown significantly because of that. Our shops, even though we are in the midst of a pandemic, our shops are actually in good shape as well. And we attribute that to the industry being here, being able to see that investment that was made by local developers to take advantage of the opportunities that was coming from the gas industry. And
we have businesses that have just boomed, skyrocketed. And I'm not talking about the gas business itself. Yes, the gas business has hundreds and hundreds of jobs. We have kids getting out of school that are walking in and getting careers that are paying $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year with benefits. Well, you just didn't have that here before. And we have local businesses like hardware stores that have tripled in size because it's a trickle-down effect. And the revenue that comes back to the state and to the local communities from this entire process is unbelievable. We're talking like $1.8 billion the gas industry paid in a tax to the state to get funneled back into programs. We're talking about over $40 million back to Susquehanna County alone, county government. We're talking about townships and boroughs receiving funding through the Act 13 to take and build buildings, do infrastructure, do things they could have never done before. We're talking about the ability for the county to give $5 million back in taxes to the community out of this money, which is unbelievable. We have not raised taxes since 2005 in this county.
Sure. As I listen to these two gentlemen, Jason and the commissioner, there's a common theme I think that's coming across, and that is about partnership. It's working with the industry, and that could be really any industry that has a major presence in your county, but it's really going out and being active and working with them. They come to us, and you have to be receptive of what their ideas are because we want them to succeed. On the same token, they want us to succeed as a county as well, and that takes a true partnership. I think one of the biggest items that goes unnoticed about the energy industry is the fact that it has helped to dispel the notion that you have to go to a four-year college to be successful in your career. And I think that's something that has had a tremendous impact on us, not only in Washington County, but I think the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania itself, because the industry is paying good jobs for those that want to explore a two-year technical degree or get out and starting their career right out of high school. Those that are, mechanically inclined, that's when it goes into welding. And I think that the most important thing is it shows that there's opportunities for everyone and for all skill sets to be involved in the industry. George, the industry needs attorneys and PR and accountant and all those guys, but it also needs welders and guys that work on the sites and frackers. So it's an industry that's had impacts throughout our county's educational system.
Then we go to the CDL school at Elk Lake Career and Technology Center. Again, another move by, Cabot Oil and Gas and the industry and partnering with some other companies to say, listen, we have a huge need in this county. We need hundreds of truck drivers, and there's nobody that's qualified to drive. There are no CDL drivers.
Shell has partnered with the school. They've invested in some very technical equipment on the plastics end of it to be able to provide them with educational training tools to be able to get students what they need in the plastics and polymer world. We've got Penn College here in our backyard. They're a great partner with the industry as well. Everybody knows how they've been able to work, not only just here in Lycoming County, but in, counties across the Commonwealth. And, they've gone and really helped other schools be able to understand how they're doing it. And it's nice to be able to see that we have an institution here that has been able to benefit from this industry being in our backyard. The nice thing about this industry was that for a number of years, we were out marketing land that was challenged. From our end of it, we didn't have the resources to be able to build out true industrial parks. We had land, there was utilities in the neighborhood, and that was about it. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but that's what we had at the time. We had, fortunately, the industry came in. Our Industrial Properties Corporation had somewhere in the neighborhood of about 400 acres of land. By 2011, all of that land was sold, and it has been developed, which is great to be able to see that. And the nice thing is, at this point in time, it's all in the tax rolls. You know, more important than just price is reliability on energy. And so from that aspect of it, I can tell you now, having a power plant in our backyard provides that reliable, steady power, because PPL has been able to reinvest in the infrastructure.
We feel we're at the point now that we have a lot of the infrastructure in place now that we can start to offer good sites for companies to come in here and use this natural gas as part of their processing to take and get some products to market. You know, of course, the natural gas, the ability for us to take and provide those services at a more reliable and lower cost is a huge impact for the businesses, but also the tax structure in this county versus the neighboring county in New York State. But at the end of the day, we're now in 2020, and today we have a county that hasn't raised taxes since 2005, gave over $5 million in tax breaks back to the taxpayers, has taken and fixed all the infrastructure of its facilities without borrowing any money or raising taxes to do it. And currently we are building a close to $19 million public safety facility without raising taxes or borrowing any money. Now, just stop and think about all those expenditures. Now, all this stuff would have to be done at some point in time. So without this industry and this money flowing through the way that it does, we would have had to borrow money. Our taxpayers would be on the hook for $50, $60 million. And they're not on the hook for a penny. Well, George, you know, what I see from my side, you know, in this county is, you know, the one side, of course, is all pro-gas. And those people are in constant contact with us. You know, our state legislators, our federal legislators, you know, they're in constant contact with us all the time. People from, you know, the Trump campaign, you know, they're talking to me all the time about it. You know, the support is there. It appears that the other side, you know, from what we understand is not so gas pro, they're more gas negative. And, you know, nobody ever reaches out. Nobody has the conversations.
I think what we've been successful here in Washington County is trying to change the conversation a little bit, that, you know, jobs and investment and really energy is a nonpartisan issue. And I know that, please don't think that's naive on my part, but for the 15 years of the initial Marcellus Shale expansion in Washington County, we had 2 Democrat commissioners leading the charge here. Now that subsequently has just changed to a Republican majority, but they see things the same exact way as our Democrat partners have. That we've looked at this as a way to promote jobs and investment, and that to me is both sides should be willing to take a look at that, not just one. And I think we've seen that in Washington County a lot, that again, jobs and investments are not political, and our country's energy independence should be nonpartisan as well.
Take the Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever party you are with, and more focus on the fact that this is about jobs. This is about reliable U.S. generated energy, reliability. And I go back to the fact that, you know, industry needs this. You know, you look at, you know, we have a fairly strong manufacturing base here in our community. And so from that aspect of it, you know, being able to know that they're going to have a reliable energy source, whether they need electric, whether they need natural gas, it's here. They have access to it. And from the perspective of Republican, Democrat, everybody should be supportive of the fact that this is keeping jobs, good paying jobs here in our area, whether they're directly related or completely unrelated to the natural gas industry. It's still something that plays a key part in being able to make sure that we have that energy here to be able to tap into.